What is up, party people? It is Wednesday's edition of Money Shots. We're talking NBA playoffs, and if we get to it, maybe even a little bit of the NFL draft props. Steven, Kelly, ladies first, how are we doing?
You know, Megan, life's really good right now. Been just crushing NBA, and I hate saying that because then you know what happens. So I'm going to stay very humble and very nice and hope that we can pick a couple more NBA winners for tonight and maybe make up for that atrocious college basketball season I had.
Jay, how we feeling? How we living?
I'm all right. My basketball picks, honestly, my single game picks are ice cold. I hit a nice parlay last night with the boost, but hitting that parlay basically fucked over my single play. But overall, things are good. I'm excited for the draft. I love a lot of draft props. I'm going to have a blog up on that later today. So a lot of good things happening.
And you'll be tweeting out that from Trust the Data, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, fantastic. So I don't want to, stall this any longer. Let's go ahead and dive into the playoffs. Up first, Bulls, Bucks. You have the Bucks leading the series 12.5 tonight. Again, seems like a big number, double digits here over the Bulls, but I mean, they do lead the game 3-1. Kelly, what do you think of the spread? What is it telling you? And then we can kick it to Steven to see if there's any props that he's liking, and a side or a total that either one of you like as well.
Sorry, I had to make sure I retweeted the show because I've been so bad about that. If you guys are listening, tuning in live, please smash that like button, jump in the comments so Jack gets off my ass about this algorithm, not during football season. That being said, Megan, full disclosure, I don't really love anything tonight. That T-Wolves game I love so much, I actually tweeted it out wrong. And then I was like, do I delete it? I just kind of panicked. And it was a first half play. And that's where I'm looking at this one again tonight. So no, Zach LaVine is built into the line. Something to think about. Obviously, Vooch and DeRozan are going to have to pick up the slack. But some of my mentors back in the day used to tell me different situations. And one of them was called the injured player theory. Now, LaVine isn't injured, but he is in health and safety protocols, so he won't be playing. It's basically the same thing. You need somebody else to step up in his absence. My question is for the Bulls, who's that going to be? And that's the answer I don't have. So I don't love them for the full game. This is a Bucks team that we spoke about. I think it was the very first game of this series. And I said, hey, the Bucks always slack off early in the playoffs. I don't know why. They're just slow starters. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they know that they're going to win the series. So what's the point of putting on the full court pressure? The Bulls couldn't have looked any worse than they did last game. So I'm going to play on that. Hopefully it's inflated line, especially in the first half. 7.5 right now here at the Barstool Sportsbook. And I did another show this morning with my good buddy Jay and Ski. And I told him, I said, I bet we see 7.5. Now that I'm looking at the odds screen, I wonder if we might see 8 before the first half. So kind of hanging out, waiting to see where this one moves. But I do like the Bulls to come out strong early on in Milwaukee.
All right, real quick, I want to think it's Rin C from Philippines. They want a shout out. Huge fan. So what's up, Rin C? Sorry if I murdered your name. I do it to literally everyone, so don't feel bad. All right, Che, what are we looking at in this game? Give me some good stuff.
Yep. So something that I've definitely come more comfortable with over the playoffs is betting unders. The defense in the NBA notches up a lot during the playoffs. We see superstars, I know I said, cream rises to the top during the playoffs, and a lot of times it does, but look in other areas. We've seen things like Kyrie Irving rebounds. We've seen, Klay Thompson 3-point makes, things like that. Not necessarily just points. Something I want to look at is, and I had an unfortunate beat last night with Ja Morant under 26.5 points. Scored 13 points the final 3 minutes. Whistles blowing like crazy. Tough way to end it. But tonight I actually like Giannis under 33.5 points. 34 is not a number he's hit this series. There's blowout potential here. Obviously, it's 12.5 or 13-point line. He's seeing a huge potential for him to go under, which he has been every game this series, even though he's played really well. And even though I think the Bucks are going to smash the Bulls, we could be looking at him not playing much of the fourth quarter. And that's just a huge number. It's way above his points per game average for the year. That is a play that I like tonight for Chicago, Milwaukee.
All right, guys. So Kelly doesn't have an official play yet. She's looking at first half, and Che obviously is killing the prop game, and he will have a blog out too for the NFL draft props that he's looking at. But let's move on to Nuggets Warriors. Warriors are laying 8.5 and lead the series 3-1. Kelly, is this a game or total you're actually looking at, or are you passing on tonight too?
Oh, I hate these games tonight. These games are just, I feel like, not great. The numbers are what they are. I mean, if we want to talk about the Chicago-Milwaukee game, Levine's already built into that number. But I think Che's got the right idea that some of these player props might be a little inflated. Going back to the total in that one, this series is just goes under. I mean, and if Chicago's really cashed it in, then I could see Milwaukee not only covering the game spread, but this game going way under the total, similar to what we saw the other night in the Jazz game. As far as this game goes, you can't bet the under. How are you going to bet the under here? You just can't. And it seems rather square in regards to the total, but these have been flying over. And that's because even though the Nuggets have a ton of injuries, we're seeing the Joker put up big offensive numbers, and they have to do that in order to win a game. That's what we see. And I would love to bet the Warriors here, saying, you know what? They've got a comfortable lead, 3-1 here. Golden State just ended out. We've seen this Nuggets team have their back against the wall so many times in the playoffs. And you know what they do? They come out and they play their little butts off. So I lean towards the over here just because, and like I said, it's really square. I feel like you almost cannot bet the under. Golden State has been really great against the spread at home this year. Denver, not so great against the spread as a dog. In fact, they don't cover games against the spread as a dog. And that scares me. But it's hard for me not to look towards the Nuggets here. And I hate the terminology must win situation, because I do think that that's frankly just a situational talking point that everybody uses to force a bet. But I lean towards the Nuggets, but I may end up on this over. Again, I feel like it's super square, but it is, these two teams have to step something up defensively if they want to go under these gigantic totals, and they just aren't. They are just, it is a freaking track meet for 4 quarters.
All right, so Kelly's leaning towards the Nuggets plus the 8.5 and also the over. Doesn't understand the number on the under, and doesn't understand why you'd personally play it. Che, what do you got for me in the prop market?
So in the prop market, I like this game a little bit less. There's one prop that I've liked this whole series, and that's Andrew Wiggins over rebounds. So when the Warriors go to what they call their death lineup with Wiggins at the 4 and Draymond at the 5 with Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, they play that during crunch time. In that lineup, there's really one guy mainly to get boards, and it is Andrew Wiggins. I mean, obviously Draymond Green is in there and can rebound, but he's typically taking on Nikola Jokic, which is a task unto itself. So you got one big guy who's a free rebounder, and Andrew Wiggins is that guy. The line is 5.5. It's been 5.5 the whole series. He's averaging 7.3 boards per series and has cleared 6+ in every single game. If you bet it last game, it would have been an absolute sweat. That putback dunk he missed with a minute left was actually a 6th rebound. But that is a play I like tonight. I kind of like Jokic in the combo. So his is 51.5, which is crazy high. And I hate betting stuff that's that high. But it kind of depends on how you see this game flow going. Like, he's a guy who his assists are definitely down this series, but he rebounds the ball a ton. He scores it a ton. I would look at his points if you're looking for like a fun over to play. I believe it's 29.5. So yeah, Nikola Jokic overs, and then also Andrew Wiggins boards over is a sneaky one to keep your eye on.
Okay, so it sounds like both of you guys like a lot of action to happen in this game. Overs, overs, overs. And that's the Nuggets and Warriors. Okay, up next, we have Sixers, Raptors. Raptors are plus 1.5. And the Sixers lead the game 3-2. Kelly, what are your thoughts on this game? I know you didn't like today's, but do you like tomorrow's?
What is with this Philadelphia team, right? That's what really gets me here. If I had an answer to that, I could be betting it. Now, I said that I liked the Raptors for the series, if you guys remember. And then on Twitter, I see Charles Barkley like the Raptors for the series. And I was like, God, why did you have to mush it? That being said, I don't like this game whatsoever. I don't think that this is a situation where everybody's gonna want to bet Toronto, right? Because they have to win this game, and I'm just not in love with it. No Van Vliet the other night, no problem. Maybe the Raptors took a little bit of that, like I said with the Bulls, that little injured player theory, and stepped it up for missing one of their best players. If you're going to make me pick it, I would lean towards the Raptors, but I think the whole world's going to come in on this team. This is another series that the under has been really great. That's why we've seen this one plummet. Now is 209.5 over at the Barstool Sportsbook. This is probably going to be another pass for me, Megan, but I do lean towards the Raptors here.
Okay, Kelly is leaning towards the Raptors. Steven, do you like anything within the prop market or just a side in general?
Yeah, so something that is a scary play, again, is betting unders, especially for the superstar players. Joel Embiid, you got to worry about the thumb. I mean, he's going to have surgery on it when the season's over. It's his shooting thumb. Obviously, he played better last game and played well enough to, be kind of in that game. But the over-under for his points is 27.5. If you look at his last 2 games where he's had this injury, he scored 21 points and 20 points. He's averaging 24.8 for the series, and that's being healthy for a good portion of it. But he's only cleared that number in 2 games. One of those games, it took overtime for him to get 33. So I kind of like the Joel Embiid under in points. I believe his combo is 42.5, which gets me a little shaky just because he could have a big rebounding game. He could have, 4 or 5 assists. So I would lean more towards the points under there with 27.5. Toronto has done a really good job against them. So that's the play I would like for that game.
All righty, up next, a game that I have actually been paying some attention to, Suns. Pels. I saw Pels +2 about 10 minutes ago. Now it's +1.5. Kelly, I know we both kind of died on the Pels last night. I did get Jonas over. That was one nice prop that someone decided to slide into the old text message. Shout out to Hold the Mayo, dude. Appreciate you for that win. Kelly, what do you make of this line in this game? I know you don't think that the Pelicans are going to win it all, but do you think they survive and advance here?
The only reason why I don't think the Pelicans are going to win it all, at least in the series, is because the data is against them. A team that goes up 3-2 in the playoffs wins their series 80% plus % of the time. Sure, they have a shot, but if we're giving them less than a 20% chance, I do, however, like them in Game 6. If you like the Pels, you need to bet them now +1.5 at the Barstool Sportsbook, because I'm looking at the odds screen and there's a lot of ones starting to pop up. So I think the Pels money line is probably the play. I think they get the job done again at home. This is a Pels team that, for whatever reason, goes to Phoenix and falls flat on their face last night. Unfortunately, I did not watch that game. Had other things to do, like sleep. So I chose the latter. Unfortunately, it is a very difficult. It is a very difficult series here, and the Suns, without Devin Booker, have been challenged, and we'll see. Can Brandon Ingram step it up? Can this Pels team get another win at home? Absolutely. I lean towards the Pels. Will most likely be on the Pels come tomorrow. But as I said, if you want to get ahead of the market, now's the time to do it.
Flock up, baby. Stephen Shea, give me some good fucking props.
So the props for this game are not out yet. A couple things I would pay attention to, though. CJ McCollum, his over rebounding total has been 4.5. He's been smashing that lately, so I like that generally in the game. I assume it's going to come out there. If it goes up to 5.5, I'd like it a lot less. Brandon Ingram points, too, is one I'd like to monitor. Before last game, he hit it in the first 3 games of the series. Definitely due for a bounce back. So I'm interested to see kind of what those come in at. Chris Paul also, I don't know if you guys watch Inside the NBA after the games, but Charles Barkley was talking about how when he got up in age, not necessarily as old as Chris Paul, but like when you get that old, it's a lot harder to get up for 2 games in a row. And they're obviously not playing it back-to-back, but basically the way you're seeing Chris Paul trend is like one really good game and then a bad game. So I could see that happening. I'd like to see what his total comes out at. I'm guessing it's going to be like around 38.5 as far as combo, points, rebounds, assists. I would not hate taking that under if that's what it comes out at. If it comes out even higher, I'm definitely going to smash that under. But that's one I'll certainly take a look at just because the Suns are a little, especially without Devin Booker, they're going to rely on Chris Paul so much, and it takes so much effort. At 37 years old, is he really bouncing back as fast as he used to?
Kelly, as far as a comment really quick, it says, take the Suns while you can. Once Booker becomes available, the line will move to -5.5, I'd imagine. Do you have either of you heard anything about Booker returning for?
I haven't. Now you got me Googling because I thought that it was unannounced. Unless they've got some good inside information.
I was hearing no timetable recently. So.
That's what I heard yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but I would agree. You're going to see this line move to 3.5, 4 points if Devin Booker is announced back in. So whoever said that in the comments, I would love to know where you got that information.
Yeah, Mark, hit us in the comments and let us know where you're getting your information from because, hey, man, we would like to know as well. All right, so we're up next. We have Mavs, Jazz. Jazz are catching 2, and Dallas leads the series 3-2. Kelly, what are we thinking here? And I would assume there's probably not props out as because the Pels were not out.
There actually are for this game. I think they're being held for the Pels game due to the injuries.
All right. Okay, cool. Kel, what are you leaning towards this game? What should we be looking at? And then throw it over to Mr. Che so he can give us the extra little bonus goodies in the prop market.
You know what Utah looks like to me? They look like the Nets last game. Like they just are so wiped out. Like, did you guys watch when Kyrie, I think Barstool reposted when Kyrie was walking in? I turned right around and bet more money on the Celtics because I was like, this dude is just done. And you know who else looks done? Donovan Mitchell. He just looks done. Yeah. He just looks like he does not give any fucks. And that concerns me in this game. Now, could his attitude be a little bit different because maybe they were getting blown out? I did have the Mavs the other night, if you guys remember. Reverse line movement and all did not matter. Dallas has been obviously playing better with their all-star Luka back in the lineup, but Utah just, they seem very lackluster here, and that's my one concern, Megan. With them, they are back at home, but this line opened 3 at a undisclosed sports book, and now is +2. So we've seen a huge shift here in the line move, and that's because everybody likes the Mavs, and I don't blame them. Unless I hear something out of Salt Lake City in regards to maybe this team's morale or maybe something along the lines of, no, they're not quitting on this season, then I cannot bet the Jazz.
Okay, so Mr. Mark Lang said it is a guy from Flex from Jersey. So it does 25 minutes ago. He said, and he's got 8,000 followers. Breaking news, assuming nothing unexpected happens between now and tip-off tomorrow, I can confidently say that they're after roughly 9 days out with a mild hamstring strain. I fully expect Devin Booker to return to the Suns lineup for Thursday's potential closeout game 6 in New Orleans, which he doesn't listen to sources. He just says he really feels like that. So that's cool. I appreciate that. I will wait for a couple more sources. Appreciate you, though. Still good. All right, Jay, what's up?
There are a couple props I like in this game. So the Jazz props aren't listed yet just due to uncertainty there. But for the Mavericks, one that is a pretty good deal right now as far as value is Reggie Bullock over 3-pointers. His number's 2.5. He's hit 3 3-pointers in every single game this series. His volume's also pretty good. He's going to take between 6 and 9 a game. He is a 3-and-D 3-point specialist. So I like him to hit that number again. He's a really good guy to play off of Luka, and he plays big minutes. So I like Reggie Bullock over 2.5 threes. And then one I'd monitor certainly is Luka. He is worse on the road. Like, he's a much better player at home as far as scoring. I think he's like 3.5 points better at home. But I mean, this series only played 2 games, but he's at about, he's almost like he's just shy of a point a minute that he plays. His over-under, I believe, is 29.5. Let me just confirm that. No, sorry, 31.5. But you're figuring if he's going to play 32-plus minutes, he's going to be right there. That's one I would keep an eye on, but I actually like his combo number better, which is 48.5 points, rebounds, assists. So it's going to be he's been rebounding a lot. He's had a double-double in both games. So I like that number. He's a triple-double threat whenever you get it. One thing that also is cool on the Barstool Sportsbook that they release is the combo of this player scores double-doubles and wins. I took advantage of that for game for Luka Doncic double and win is plus 180. So that's really good value when those come out. It's typically a little bit closer to game time.
All right, we have one more game to cover before we. I will do this game, and then I'll say, Che, give me your 5 favorite props.
Sure.
How about that? Does that work for you? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, up next, we have Grizzlies, T-Wolves, and the Grizzlies are leading the series 3-2. You got the T-Wolves catching 1. Kelly, is this the game that you like above all the other games?
It's not a game that I like above all the other games, but I do like this T-Wolves team because they're not going down without a fight. I will, however, say they had a nice lead last night. It was great. I had +3 in the first half. They were up 3 in the first half. That Ja Morant dunk, I think, took a lot out of that team. And I think that those kind of losses are really hard to come back from. And that being said, do I think the T-Wolves are still going to fight here at home? I do. But I do think that they knew they had that game within reach last night and then couldn't get it done. And that's got to be rather infuriating. But I will be on the T-Wolves back at home. I do think that a lot more Grizz money is going to come in just because it did last night as well. I mean, I gave it on 3, went up to 3.5 in the first half. The game went from 6.5 to 6, back to 6.5 before tip. Obviously, the betting public loves Ja Morant and the Grizz. A lot of people have them picked to win the West. I do not. But I do like this T-Wolves team. I just hope that they didn't get just completely every ounce of win taken out of their sails in that loss last night.
All right. Kelly's still looking to back this T-Wolves team. But she's going to wait a little bit because she thinks the money is going to keep coming in on the Grizzlies because why? It has. Che, hit me up with a prop that will make me some money and let me feed my kids.
What I like for tomorrow is Anthony Edwards. This is a couple days away. But his line is probably going to come out at 3.5 for 3-pointers. I like him to be over that number. He's taken at least 8 threes in every game, and he's shooting the lights out. I really like Anthony Edwards shooting the ball here on the road. Another one I like, and it's not out yet, so I'm guessing because that's what the line was last night. It's 9.5 assists for Ja Morant. I got snake bit with the points over, but a lot of his points are from the line. In the 2 games that he's cleared his number, which last night was 26.5, he shot 17 and 20 free throws. I don't anticipate that's going to be consistent on a game-by-game basis. So I could see his points going under, but overall in the series, he averages 10.4 assists, and he's had double-digit assists in 3 of the games, and the other 2 were 9 and 8, so he's right there. I like that prop tomorrow. He definitely has taken on more of a distributor role, and when he needs to, like we saw at the end of the last game, he's going to ISO and get his buckets. But I like Ja Morant passing the ball with over 9.5 assists.
All right, Che likes a team player for Friday's game. Appreciate both of the insight there because I've been, as I mentioned on Monday, dig deep in baseball, which is another I got it on right now, trying to hopefully watch the Mets win a game. All right, Steven, before you leave, and Kelly, please feel free to chime in whenever you hear something that you like or dislike. But Che, give us your top 5 favorite props for this NFL draft.
Sure. So I put out my lock last night, which is Georgia linebacker Quay Walker to be drafted in the first round. It's at -114, but I really like that pick. It was at +200 earlier this week. I'm just hearing a lot of good things about him being potentially linebacker 1, which is a good value pick. For him to be the first linebacker drafted is +600. I think it's going to be either him or Devin Lloyd, but he has a legitimate shot. And at that value, +600, I think it's a great play. Another one I like is actually another Georgia linebacker. Nakobe Dean is the more decorated linebacker in college. I like him to be over pick 32.5, so he won't get picked in the first round, basically. He's just off-the-ball linebackers typically get pushed down a little bit just due to the position, but he's also a little bit of a smaller guy and didn't run at the combine or his pro day. People were anticipating slower time, so he just elected to not do that. So I think he's going to get pushed out of the first round. So those are my big ones. There's one that's pretty juiced up. I think it's at like -152, and that's you can pick basically this player or this player to get drafted first. And it's Trent McDuffie, the cornerback out of Washington, to be picked before Devin Lloyd, the linebacker out of Utah. It was at minus 152, but I was a pretty sizable play on that. I also might be paying a ton of juice for Trent McDuffie in the first round. I think it's like minus 700 or something like that, but I think I actually might lay that because it's pretty much a guarantee that he's going to be in the first round.
You just made Kelly's like hair stand up on her arms.
But the thing about this
is I didn't shave my arms, Megan, yes, but we've already had this discussion on the show before.
Sport. It's literally like the selections essentially are known, and the people that I am talking to have assured me Trent McDuffie is a first rounder.
Where do you think he's going to go? The Bengals?
He could go as high as like 11. He could fall as low as like the mid 20s, but like it's going to be in the first round. So I think he's going to be gone in like the mid to late teens.
All right, Kelly.
With most of these first round guys, like top 10 guys, they're not even available to bet in the first round.
No, for sure. Or I've
got
the Barstool Sportsbook pulled up right now. We got guys that are minus 5,000 in the first round, right? Like Trent McDuffie currently minus 715 to be drafted in the first round, and there are 65 plus guys, and there's a lot of really good plus money guys that I was looking into as well. But Megan, I took the easy route out, and this is what I've done in my previous endeavors with the NFL draft. I try not to guess who's going to go win, but look at where we've seen trends in the past, right? Okay. So congratulations to your Southeastern Conference. You guys always draft the most number of players. But just like I like to do during bowl season, I like to fade you guys. And that's because everybody wants to talk about how great the SEC is. So the bookmakers add that extra half a win or whatever it may be. Currently, the Barstool Sportsbook under 10.5 players drafted in the first round is plus 106. And normally I was like counting. I'm like, okay, there's going to be like 10 and I'm going to have to sweat this. And then someone's going to screw me over. I forget already who has the last pick. I think it's the Lions. Are the Lions going to screw me over like the Chiefs did in 2020 by drafting a running back when I had under half a running back in the first round? It could happen. That being said, I don't think it's going to happen. I have 9 SEC players drafted in the first round, so I like the plus money on that one. And then I thought this was also a really interesting one. Total Big 12 players drafted. Now, while I think there only might be one Big 12 player drafted in the first round, it's plus 120, over half a player. Maybe I'm missing something with one of these two, Che. I would love your input on either one of these.
Sorry. So it was the Big 12 over half a player, and then, sorry, what was the other one?
And then the SEC under 10.5 players.
10.5.
Oh, geez. All right, hold on. Let me pull up my big board and see kind of
where.
You're
going to have to make that big brain work. You can't just ask me a question.
10.5?
You look at shit.
I counted 9, and I have some good friends who follow the NFL year round in terms of draft coverage, and they sent me their mock drafts, and I've talked to some other people, and I'm going, where is the 11th player coming from? I could see it being 9, maybe 10, but where is 11? And you want to give me plus money on that under? Again, it's similar to like what I did this year in March Madness when Megan and I talked about, some of the props over 3.5, wins for the Pac-12. I mean, give me a break. Some of these teams just cash it in early. And while it may not win, was it still a good bet? And that's how I'm looking at these, because I know you're going absolutely bonkers because this is your wheelhouse.
No, it could be 11. So the guy that that's gonna be like put you over the top or win or lose for you is Lewis Seen, the safety out of Georgia. I've heard that he's like gonna be in the first round, but I'm not positive that is actually gonna happen. He is gonna be like the 11th guy or not. So I think it's gonna be a very close call either way. The receiver out of Georgia, George Pickens, could sneak in as a surprise pick in the 20s.
See, I was thinking like a Traylon Burks or one of those guys going late could actually hurt me, but we're gonna go with it. I need a reason to watch the draft, you guys, and so thus, especially the first round, if I've got a couple of little fun prop bets here, it's gonna make it more enjoyable because I'm a Broncos fan and we don't have a first round draft pick.
Well, you have Russell Wilson. You do
And
have
you know what? I'm going to remain positive until it's time not to be positive. When Russell Wilson throws 2 picks week 1, I'm going to go absolutely bonkers and break my
Mr.
phone.
Unlimited. Relax. He's got it. He's unlimited.
I forgot you have a huge crush on Russell.
First off, not a crush. I told you the type of guys I
When
like.
infatuation.
Wright's retired. All right. I'm not into Russell Wilson. No offense to Sierra, beautiful woman, beautiful man, beautiful children. However, I just like him because he's really cheesy. I like cheese dick people, and I think he's great. All right, guys, that will end our show today, if you will. We'll be back on Monday for more baseball talk. But man, thank you guys for coming in, giving me everything I needed to know about the NBA playoffs, a little sneak peek of what I should be putting in for the NFL draft. Che, your mock draft is really the only one I care about, so I'm about to go study it like a mofo.
New one coming out tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay. I'll be.
I have a lot of new intel that's going to shake things up.
Everyone go make sure you follow and check out Trust the Data. That's where Che is putting out all of his picks and his blog and everything that you need to know, because he does have a humongous brain and he knows how to use it. Kelly, thank you for giving me some sides and some
Thanks to Tyler Broody in the chat. I just bought a blue screen. I don't know what the fuck that thing does. How to use not a green screen and some new light, because now he made me really insecure that my hair is green on the show. So $500 later on Amazon mid-show. When I get back from Costa Rica, because I will not see you guys for almost 2 weeks. I apologize. Can't wait to see Megan and Sydney's beautiful faces in Louisiana here very soon. And then I'll be back on Money Shots, but don't worry, Megan's going to have you guys covered. Che's going to still be here. And on Mondays, we'll have Chris. And hopefully I can still pick some winners on vacation.
Absolutely. And if you do, make sure you send them to me. So maybe Jack can make like a graphic where you're like, have like a little cartoon where you have sunglasses on and like a little board that you're holding up that just says like your picks for the day. That would be cute.
But Jack can't wait to waste his time making pointless graphics for us.
All right. Rincey, I hear you. We are great. You're great. Everyone's great. Thank you all so much. We will see you back here on Monday. Peace out.